Hello everyone, I'm going to show you all how to use the circular pattern in Fusion 360 and make this part. As usual, we can see where our sketch tools that you're going to need to use are: points, construction lines, constraints. We might need to do some trimming. Then there's our feature tools as well. First thing we're going to do is model the following part. It's over here. Ultimately, this is what you're making. This is much like the rubber handle that you just did. So let's get started. A couple things to note. I'm going to do this construction line across the origin. It might make our life a little bit easier. So as before, I am actually going to start with my construction line on the origin. But I'm just going to put it over here. And then I'm going to create the rest of this part in just a rough drawing size. I forgot to turn the construction line off. Okay. So we're going to just model the rest of this part. There. So we don't have any accurate dimensions yet, but that's what we're going to fix. So we can see, if I zoom in, it's 1 inch wide, 2.5 inches from bottom to top here. So let's start with those. So we know that from here to here is 1 inch. Ooh, looks like I made mine a little big. Let's change that dimension. Let's fix some things here. I should have done that in the first place. So I know that this, let's start with this one. We know that this is 0.5 inches. And we know that we know from here to here is 1 inch. So that fixed that for us. I know that from the construction line to the top of this is 1 inch, and from the construction line to the top of here is 2.5. So I know from here to here is 1 inch. I know from here to here is actually 0.375. I'm going to go ahead and fix that. And from here to here is 2.5. Okay, so I made my initial drawing a little larger than it should have been, but we use the dimensions to fix it. 0.375, so let's check 0.375 from there to there. All right, looks like we're good. We're going to revolve the sketch to create our part, and then we're going to use the hole feature to place a 0.5 inch through hole vertically aligned with the sketch origin. So first thing we want to do is we don't want to create a sketch. That was my fault. We're going to revolve this part along this axis. Now we're going to say okay. We want to use the hole feature, and it says the face is here. We want to use we want it to be a through hole, so all. We want this to be just a basic through hole, 0.5 inches. Okay. We want it to be vertical construction, Now we have that, okay? But how do we truly edit things to be the way that we want them? Because we don't know if that's correct. Is it perfectly vertical? Who knows? So let me show you all a trick. I'm actually going to delete this. I'm going to show you all a little trick. We're going to create a sketch on this plane. I am going to use the point command to create a sketch point. So this is something new. And all it does is just place a little spot that says here. We're going to use our geometric constraints to make sure this is horizontal with the origin. We can see our constraint has been applied. The next thing is I want to make sure this hole is centered from here to here. So let's see if we can figure out how far that needs to be. So if this is, well, a tool that we can actually use, I'm going to show you a secret. We use our measure tool. From here to here, we can see the distance is 1.5 inches. So if I use a dimension, I can go from here to here, needs to be, sorry, that did not work right for me. I'm going to hit escape. And let me pause for just a second to take a look here. Okay, I'm sorry, I forgot that it showed us right here. 1.650 is the dimension here. So we're going to use this dimension tool. And between these two, that should be 1.650. All right, now we're going to finish the sketch. So what's important is that we have this point here. And now when I do it on that point, and here is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to select the whole tab. On placement, I'm going to say from sketch because there's a point on the sketch that I want to choose. Now that this says sketch points, we select the sketch point to locate the hole. Now that we have all of our hole settings from before, I'm going to hit OK. And our hole is exactly where it needs to be. So let's finish this up. The pattern function is going to let us make copies of an existing feature. You can read about the 3 ways. What we're going to use is circular pattern to have 10 holes around the center line. So in the create, we're going to use our drop down. We are going to find pattern, circular pattern. Type on the faces. The object, we're going to select the feature that we want to pattern. The axis is now where we're going to rotate it around. So choose the point. And I chose the wrong one there, but I'll just reselect. Sorry. We're looking at the axis that it is going to rotate around in the direction. We want it to rotate here through that center line of the hole. Quantity, we tell it how many we want to pattern. And then hit OK. And there is our pattern, circular pattern hole. So you can take a screenshot of that and turn it into the assignment.